Good evening. You're watching the news on Croatian television. Prime Minister Andrej Plenković has received the support of his coalition partners in naming Darko Horvat to replace Martina Dalić as economy minister, and in having Agriculture Minister Tomislav Tolušić assume her duties as deputy prime minister. The two candidates will appear before the parliamentary committees on the Constitution and Economy tomorrow, while a vote on their appointments is expected for this Friday.
All of us comprise this government, those with 1 seat in parliament and those with 50. Therefore, we all bear the responsibility. And if we do something right, and I am hopeful that we will succeed in introducing some reforms and will resolve the Agricor issue by July 10th, then we all share in the credit for that as well.
For his part, Horvat said that he was slightly surprised by the fact that Prime Minister Plenković had nominated him, but denied that he was part of a hardline faction within the HDZ.
If you are calling a member of the HDZ from Istra or Međimurje part of the so-called right wing, then all I can do is laugh. I said I was a little shocked for the simple reason that in the past 2 years there hasn't been any intense contact between us, especially not in terms of the economy.
Agricor's crisis management team met with representatives from the concerned suppliers today. The suppliers are bothered by the fact that crisis management team is holding separate meetings with creditors who did not sign on to the April 10th agreement, which outlined the basic tenets of the settlement deal.
Just briefly, we discussed all unresolved issues left until the end of the settlement deal, exchanged views, presented facts, and agreed to continue our talks.
Meanwhile, the Index website has released new emails from the Agricor email scandal, which allegedly show that there were plans to return the INA oil and gas company into majority state ownership through the partial privatization of the state electric utility HEP.
For me, this was an inappropriate method of communication, and the responsible institutions have to deal with this now. There was a group of people who obviously shared their thoughts via email, but that was not the policy of the Croatian government.
In other news, the three parties of the so-called Amsterdam Group, the IDS, GLAS and Pametno, spoke out today against the People Decide civil initiative, which is holding a petition drive to force a referendum on changes to the electoral system. They claim that the initiative is spreading intolerance and wants to reduce minorities to second-class citizens.
The format is always the same. These radical right-wing groups pick an issue that is the focus of public attention, in this case election law, so that they can de facto manipulate the public. This is a classic example of black propaganda.
Meanwhile, the People Decide initiative says that it has gathered 250,000 signatures in spite of serious obstruction in 3 cities, Zagreb, Rijeka and Osijek, on the part of the 2 largest political parties, the HDZ and SDP, and the party of Zagreb Mayor Milan Bandić. They need to gather 370,000 signatures by Sunday to force a referendum on changes to the election law.
Any system that requires only your vote for you to become a member of parliament is an abomination. That is not democracy, and it has nothing to do with minority rights. What it is fraud and deceit on the part of national minority representatives, who are doing everything except what they are supposed to do, and that is to represent the interests of their national minority.
Defense Minister Damir Krstičević is being inducted to the U.S. Army War College International Fellows Hall of Fame today. Krstičević was the first Croatian officer to graduate from the institution, which is widely recognized as the U.S. Army's premier education institution.
I am proud to have been able to represent Croatia, which, as my American counterpart told me in the Pentagon, is a small country fighting well above its weight class.
And taking a quick look at sports, in football, the newly crowned Croatian League champions, Dinamo Zagreb, will face arch-rivals Hajduk Split in Vinkovci on Wednesday in the final of the Croatia Cup. Opening kickoff is at 7 p.m. local time. Cup winners automatically qualify for the next season's UEFA Europa League competition. Dinamo has won the trophy 14 times, while Hajduk has 6 titles to its name. And now the forecast for tomorrow. Variable cloud cover with some isolated showers and thunderstorms. Heavier rains are expected in the second half of the day. There will be a mild northeasterly and easterly on the northern coast, with a mild to moderate southeasterly elsewhere. Morning lows of 11 to 16 degrees Celsius inland, 16 to 20 on the coast, will give way to highs of 21 to 26 degrees, slightly cooler in mountainous regions. The three-day forecast calls for warmer but variable weather with intermittent showers and thunderstorms, especially on Thursday. The coast will see rains die down on Thursday with predominantly sunny weather going into the weekend. Expect warmer temperatures. And that wraps up the news. Be sure to join us again tomorrow night.